Sebastio Salgado is a Brazilian photographer. He specializes in social documentaries and photojournalism, and his work can be seen in many publications and books, and there are also exhibitions displaying his work around the world. In his early life, he was an economist and eventually pursued photography full-time in 1973. To capture these photographs, he's traveled to over 120 countries, and he takes them in black and white in an attempt to capture the hardships that people face, as well as the natural environment and the preservation of them. During 2004 to 2011, Salgado worked on Genesis, a collection of 200 black and white photographs. He named the series Genesis because he said only 46% of the planet is still as it was at the time of Genesis, and that we must preserve what exists. The goal of this work was to display the unblemished faces of nature and humanity. Genesis contains wildlife, landscapes, and groups of people that follow their ancestral traditions. This photograph is called Fortress of Solitude, and it shows an iceberg in Antarctica. It stood out to me because of the unique structure of the iceberg. Salgado compared it to a castle. The picture is so simple, with the water as the foreground, iceberg in the middle ground, and sky in the background, yet he still managed to capture the beauty of nature. There is movement in the water, which creates a calmness to the photograph, and with this he was probably trying to show that it's important that we preserve the remaining natural beauty of the world. This is another photo from Genesis. It's a colony of chinstrap and macaroni penguins. The penguins in the back look like dots because of the depth he was able to create. The lines in the background lead the viewer's eye up the image, and there is also both convergence in the foreground and divergence in the middle to the background. The next two photos are of the Serra Pelada gold mine in Brazil, taken in 1986. The first one was taken at an elevated vantage point to show the vastness of the mine. It's even hard to recognize that there are people in the background. There are thousands of people in the photo, but since it was taken from a distance, only the people in the foreground are visible. In the second photo of the Serra Pelada mine, he was trying to show the harsh conditions. Fighting was common there, and his goal with the series was to show unsettling images. Even though you can't see anyone's face, by the people's body movements you can see the emotion, and the black and white photo also helps to set a somber mood. I chose this one because I think it really shows what everyday life was like working in the mines. This is a photograph of Churchgate Station in 1995. Salgado utilized a slow shutter speed to capture the quick movement of people. Many of his photographs also tend to be taken from this elevated vantage point and zoomed out. The different lights and signs almost create a separation from left to right. The photo also has a lot of symmetry, and there are so many people in this one space that it doesn't even look like there are people in some parts of the photograph, like the back. I interpret this as chaos that humans go through in everyday life. In conclusion, Salgado had an eye for capturing nature's beauty, as well as showing the not-so-beautiful parts of human nature. I chose Salgado because I like the message he is trying to send, that nature needs to be preserved. Humans are destructive to our natural world, and a lot of the photos he takes show this destruction. He also doesn't shy away from exposing the harder parts of life. Since his images are in black and white, most of them don't create a happy tone, but more so a realistic one of the state that our world is in.